Well, it's only 2 o'clock, so I feel like I should do something else. Like, play something else. But I'm not sure what else to play. You know, I started this stream planning to play Warcraft. That didn't work out. And now we're playing, you know, we just finished Ocarina of Time. So I'm not fully sure what else I should do. Yeah, whenever the nightly randomizer like becomes more stable, I wouldn't mind looking into running another seed. I wonder what that is. It's Zelda 2! Sort of. Problem is, my controller doesn't work with it. So, that's unfortunate. Let's see if I can get this to work. I'm a little unsure of the buttons, because again, the controller itself doesn't work. Oop, that's the music button. Oh, Y, no, T. Okay, well, it's blasted, but also arrow keys. Whoa, I don't know what that does. That's interesting. I was thinking it was... Okay, space is jump. Control is attack. Enter is menu. It's a little confusing because of the fact that I don't have a controller that works for this. So it's going to be a little confusing at first, but we'll figure it out. But yeah, so this is an actual remake. Like not, you know, official. This is an actual like remake of the second of Zelda 2. The Adventure of Link. There is some level of like options. For example, you can set like different music. If I go out. So now it's using the Famicom disk system music and like sounds. Alright, down your adventure, come in. The adventure has been recorded. So I mean, one big change is you're out there all alone. It's dangerous. One thing you'll notice that's different is you start with 3 heart containers and 3 magic containers instead of the full 4. Some things are a little different. Nothing's like overly different at the very beginning. Talk with my father before you leave town. But you will quickly see how things are different. Proper Desert uses magic to survive. We got the Protect spell. So it's not called the Shield spell, it's called the Protect spell in this game. Or in the remake. As for what button uses magic, I don't know. 'Cause I have Protect selected. Ah! T. Of course. That makes sense. Stop and rest here. Give me back all my mana, thank you. But like you'll have noticed that leaving the North Palace was quite a bit different. And I mean, you know, the music is different right now because this is the Famicom. I have the Famicom stuff active. I really don't want to fight these moblins because they just yeet us your freaking MP. Interesting. You can only access the options menu from the side view. But now I actually turned on the default, like music. Default music and sound. But as you saw earlier, though, I had Isabelle Chiming's music on instead. And I think this is a really cool, like, way more, like, awesome version of, like, the tracks. But you also notice the Parappa Desert is quite a bit different than normal. And there are many secrets to find, many cool things that lie in wait, some extra challenges, but also some like rebalancing of things that were maybe a little too hard. That said, you know, they didn't take all of the difficulty out of the game. And there is still quite a bit of good level of difficulty. But you'll also notice, for example, that was not a heart container. That was a piece of heart. So, modified the game a little bit to, you know, bring some of the old mechanics up to match the current game, you know, which is awesome. Or to match like modern Zelda games. There is a randomizer built into it for anybody who likes to do Zelda 2 rando. And all of this was done by Hoverbats. I have no idea who they were, or are. No idea who they are. But, Vine Sauce, Vinny, did a couple videos on this. And it is out on itch.io. Just gotta look up Hoverbats. Life will go up. Again, they didn't like remove everything. You know, they left in all of the things that made this game uniquely Zelda 2. And I love that. Ooh, voice crack. I'm not sure how to get up there. I will note that I watched Vin do this on like rando. But beyond that, I know little about it. Also, can I just make mention of this real quick? This palace is underground. All of this is underground. Why are there windows? Hi, buddy. But yeah, I don't know what to expect. I don't know what they did. Ooh, dark room. I don't have the torch. Whoops, I did save and quit. But you'll see, started right up here at the town, which is, may not seem like a lot, because, like you're still starting at, you know, somewhere far from the dungeon, but you can start at any town that you stop and save at, you know. I'm not very good at this game. Even less so when I don't have a controller. But there's something about Game Maker, and I don't know what it is, but it's not compatible with the... I have a legitimate, like, Super Nintendo controller. But Game Maker will not recognize it, no matter what. I've tried to play many games with it. I've even done, like, Undertale. Like, the first time I tried to play Undertale, I was like, let's play a game meant to, you know, resemble a classic game with a classic controller. And then I legitimately couldn't. And I was very upset. I was like, why? I don't know if it's an issue with Game Maker or if it's an issue with the like controller. Like, my controller, my Super Nintendo controller works for everything else, you know? It just doesn't work with Game Maker games for some reason. I might have to actually go get the life spell. Might do that next time I die. Game over, rather, because I just died. But I'll start right here, so... Oh my gosh! I can. It doesn't bug out as bad as the NES does. But on the NES, you can make this game do some crazy stuff if you push both left and right at the same time. Ouch. I'm not very good at this game. So I know I saw a second one. Maybe not. Oh. Oh! Skelly button. Oh, there's something above me I just noticed. Like blocks or something directly above me. Yeah, yep, and here too. I do like the remixes. I do like this remix to the temple theme. I think it's really good. Right? Game over. Return of Ganon. Oh hey, if you hit continue, it starts you at the dungeon. Now that's really handy. The original did not start you at the dungeons at all, no matter what. Except for the Great Palace. But this one starts you at the dungeons. So that is a really nice quality of life change. That I really question why it wasn't in the original. Because clearly they had the technology to. You know, they do start you at the Great Palace. If you get that far. It's just that's the only dungeon that does it. Oh, dark. There are these little torches around. If I had the lantern, I could light them. Fairy! Please and thank you. I think that should regenerate every time I go by there anyway, so. But also, if you ever get lost, there's a map! I love it. Damage boost! Right? I'm kind of in the way, actually, if I end up, like, on the right side of the screen. I'm kind of in the way, I just noticed. Life will go up. But also that does heal me, which is good. Unfortunately, there's no, like, healing potions. It's just magic potions. Right? But you'll see that now that I've gotten, you know, level 3 in life, I take less damage, which is cool. I may not be able to see him, but I can still hit him. This is really cool, though. I think I need to find the lantern, though. Like, I've got the keys. I just gotta find the actual lantern now. That said, I can cheese. Nope, never mind. He left. I was gonna say, if I can cheese this bubble, I can get some experience. But, nope. He ran off. Oh, frick. Really? I'm so bad at this game. I've always been really bad. Like, Zelda 2 is one of my, like, favorites. But I've always been really bad at it. I've never, like, sat down and it wasn't my childhood, you know? So, like, I never developed, like, the muscle memory required to really, like, be good at this game. Got him. I see you, skeleton. Or not. I died. Again. This is why having the life spell is really handy. But also, I can definitely see that the torch, the lantern, whatever, like it was right there. So I'm gonna give this one last try before yeetusing out and going to get the lantern. Let me take advantage of you. If you can take advantage of the bubbles, I mean, they only give like 50 XP each. But it's a good early game, like, way that you can grind out experience. It just takes forever to kill them. At least until you've got like level 4 attack power. Anyway. Also, some of my problem is I do try to like kill all of the mobs. And I realize like, if I just skipped some of the mobs, it wouldn't be so bad. Frick. That freaking skeleton, though. There it is. And just like that. Now I can light things up. Also, you'll notice that even like the dark rooms aren't totally dark anymore, just because you have the lantern. So it's neat because it gives this like, hey look, you have a slight light just from having the lantern. Well, then you light a torch and it lights everything up even further. It's really cool. Like, it's a really cool way of doing it, honestly. What the heck? That was weird. What? I'm gonna take that ferry. Yeah, like, now I can see that dark nut right over there, for example. Hey! Now I can see these skeletons. And the stairs. I love it. It's so cool, man. I will take some magic. Ooh, 200 experience. Uh-oh. Oh dear, this is the boss. Saw that coming. I'm not very good at this game. It's unfortunate, but it's true. Not very good at this game. I'm gonna go get the life spell. And maybe do a little extra leveling up. I usually try to get to level 4 in everything before finishing the first temple. Because it really does help a lot. That said, I see this little, like, secret up here. Not sure if I can... I can't. So I don't know if this is, like, bog or water. But I see magic container, which also, in this game, works like pieces of heart. And you have to collect multiple in order to get a, like, full. And I think that's really cool. I really like just about everything about this remake, from what I've seen. While I haven't seen everything, I can say that what I have seen, I really like. And Zelda 2 is actually a game I once tried to remake myself. It was a long time ago, and I don't really have any coding knowledge, so the best that I could really do was, like, try to remake it in, like, RPG Maker. Unfortunately, there are some things you just can't do in RPG Maker. Like a side-scrolling thing. But I would definitely be curious to see, like, what I could do in the way of a Zelda RPG Maker remake, you know? I think it would be a neat idea. This is new. there was one more block. I need to wait for one more block. If I had to make a critique, I think really, oh, now we're back in town, okay. I think, like, my only real critique at the moment, from what little I've actually played, of course, is just that one of the things I would change is not losing a life upon, like, falling into, like, a pit or something. I don't know if that's possible, you know, to change that. Just like, if I were to remake it in this exact, like, side-scrolling style, and, like, if it was possible to do, again, I don't know anything about programming, like, legitimately. You know, I use RPG Maker. But if I were, like, one of the things I would do would be to make it so that when you fall into a pit, you just, like, restart. Maybe even make, like, a lower lower difficulty setting. You know, make that like a difficulty option. That's nice. I mean, I guess I did get it. But now I really want to kill this freaking Uriah. But I didn't. I died because I didn't protect spell. But that's fine. Yeah, I would just, like, make it teleport you back to, like, the entrance of the map or something. And then deal, like, one hit point to, you know, from, like, an enemy or something. Oop, that's health. This is to Raru. Ooh. Shortcut. That's cool. I wouldn't have even thought of that at all. I am Error. I am much too busy to talk to a stranger. You saved the trophy. Come see my uncle. Time to get the life spell. Or is this jump? Oh god, if this is jump. With this, you can jump very high. It's a jump. Frick! The whole reason I did this was so that I could get the life spell. So, ripperoni and cheese for me. That did give me... I am at 3 pieces of heart now. Don't remember picking up a second, though. Unless it's just like 3 pieces of heart at a time or something. Someone in Ravu knows of a heart. North Rudo Mountains. Dead. I knew that was gonna get me, but I wanted to try. I think I need the down thrust so that I can, like, bounce off of the enemy. So, I will say, down thrust is a giant, like, game changer. Alright, well, let's head back. So I don't know if I'm gonna do, like, a full playthrough of this, partially because I'm so bad at this freaking game. But hey, look, trophy. Like, I'm so bad at Zelda 2. But also, like, I really do want to, like, play this, because it's super cool and super fun. I really do like Zelda 2 a lot. It is, even though I'm really bad at it, it's still one of my favorite Zelda games. I don't know, I've just always liked this one. Like, I know I'm a huge proponent of, you know, games don't need to be difficult, and disliking, like, extreme difficulty. And maybe it's a nostalgia thing. Maybe I wouldn't like it if I were just introduced to it today. But I do know that I really enjoy Zelda 2. So, it's true that I may not be able to tell you exactly why that is. I don't know, but Zelda 2 has just always been one of those games that I've always enjoyed. Even though it's really hard. Like, usually I just turn on cheat codes. You know? Like, I'll start the game at, like, 4. You know, like, for everything, you know, 4 life, 4 magic, 4 attack. And then I'll be like, I'll do like infinite lives. Which is another nice thing. The extra lives in this are actually beneficial. They don't just give you 1 extra life, they give you a permanent, like, extra life. So, like, if I were to go find a 1-up right now, then every time I game over, I would start with 4 lives instead of only 3. So, it's really, it's just one of those things that I really like about this version. Oh dear, they're coming from behind. I figured. I kind of wondered if it might be bad that I was doing it in that room. But I had to try. Usually I do it in this room with this particular bubble here. So I suppose I don't necessarily need to be sitting here grinding out the bubble here. Well, no, it doesn't look like the skeleton respawns immediately. Excuse me, Stalfos. Freaking really? Multiple of those should have hit. I mean, technically I can grind out the slimes. It would just take forever. Not that I think the bubble's gonna be much faster. There we go. So these things do die eventually. Right? I accidentally missed to push the button there. There we go. And so basically my usual strategy is to go back and forth and kill that thing over and over again. But I'm gonna try to do this semi-legitimately. Right, no life spell. Just protect. No life, just protect. That said, one other thing I might recommend to Hoverbats, I don't think he'll end up watching this at all, but if by some miracle Hoverbats sees this, one thing I might recommend is maybe some way to change the keybinds for like the keyboard, since I know, you know, at least I've tried changing them here and it hasn't worked. So bright outlines. Turn on hitboxes. There's just some cool stuff that you can do here. Well, I was kind of hoping these guys would have respawned, but they didn't. Looks like it's really only the slimes and the bubbles. I just want to get this last, like, extra experience to 400. Like, now I just need 20. Problem is, I think I'm about to die and like lose my last life. But then grab the fairy. There we go. Really now? How rude. No, I think this is an absolutely fantastic remake from what I've seen. I'm just absolute garbage at Zelda 2. Like, I've beaten the game legitimately once. And that was like 13 years ago. If I thought I could get that extra, like, 60 experience without dying, I think I would have gone for another attack bonus. Gotten that up to 3 instead. But I don't think I'm going to live to get to 500 experience, so... That said, if I can beat this boss, which is highly unlikely... I mean, I wasn't wrong! Good gravy. One thing that does make it harder, though, is actually the less life. Like, starting with less life. Because you do only start with 3 instead of 4. So it does make it just a little harder. Because you have that one less heart of health that you can take. I am not even going to try that. Nope, not that way. I really wish I had the life spell. I will take the ferry though, because I can probably get through this with little damage. Ooh, 200. Mind if I do though? This guy's only going to give me 50 experience, unfortunately. Ah! Just like if I just need a little more experience to get that extra attack up. Just a little more experience for that extra attack up. I suck at Horsehead so much. I'm so bad at this fight. Freaking... Like, the problem is you have to hit him on the head. And I'm absolute trash at doing that. Like, I cannot get that jump and actually, like, hit him. And that is super annoying, in my opinion. Like, not the boss. The fact that I can't do that jump. Because, like, it's not hard. And I can see it's not hard. Like, I can see how to do it. And how to nail it every time. I just can't then replicate, like, what I know I'm supposed to do. Like, I know what I'm doing, and I know how to do that fight. I just can't seem to do it. Frick you. Guess it's fine, I wouldn't have gotten the experience anyway. Shimmy, 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 shimmy. I do love the Stalfos, though, in this game. They're so, like, hilariously animated. It's that little, like, shimmy, 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 shimmy that he's, like, doing with his legs. It makes me laugh. I don't know. Ooh, wait. Might be how to get that heart piece. And if so, that will make things way easier. What the frick is that? Got him. I'm going, there's gotta be like a technique to hitting, you know, all three eyes all at once there. And I was right. Oops. I was ducked down. I mean, if I can get the experience, don't mind if I do. Hey, second try. Oh God, what is this? Okay, these things are, if they're killable, they're only kill. Oh my gosh, that one's fast. They're only killable with a down thrust. But these might just be like blade traps from like modern Zelda games. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I actually did that. That was hard. That was really cool though. Oh my goodness. Hoverbats. Why are you awesome? Can I just, like, steal you? For, the game I'm making? Just, like, have you come up with all the dungeons? I'm so garbage at making the dungeons. Unfortunately, I don't think Hoverbats would go for that, even if he was, like, listening. Just because, like, as cool as that would be, you know, it's like, hey, you know, like, making an actual, like, custom video game, you know, well, through RPG Maker, but still, you know, like, making an actual game. Like, the biggest problem is that we're an indie company that has no money at all, which means no money to pay. We're basically just a group of friends working together to make a game. Just because it's fun, you know? There we go. Now I will come die on this fight. Protect did nothing. That's how low my health was. And it's not even so much that you have to hit, like, his head. It's actually, like, you have to hit above his head, slightly. Like, you have to hit the ears, basically. Like, see, I'm actually hitting, like, above his head when I'm getting the hits in. But I am lasting a little longer now that I have that extra heart. Oh boy. I also feel like that might be like the next thing to do. Is like make the health bar like a heart bar. I mean, it's not important. It would just make it line up more with like the other Zeldas, you know? But not all of this is about making it line up with the other Zeldas as much as it is, you know, remaking a really good game that just had some major flaws, admittedly. You know, I'm not going to sit here and be like, Zelda 2 was a perfect game or anything. Like, I can't stand that when people are like, you know, especially with like the first couple of like Zelda 1 and Zelda 2, where they're like, those are perfect games, you don't need to like change them. Like, they're not at all. Like, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but they're not at all. Maybe they're perfect for you, but that does not make them a perfect game. There is no such thing as a perfect game. You know, there's always things that can be improved. Whether you believe that those are things that need to be improved or not, you know? I figured I'd try jump instead of protect this time around. Voice cracks. Just cause, like, if I can jump high enough, I can hit him and it knocks him back, you know? Yep. I'm good at this game. I did better that time than ever, though. I think jump really is the trick. At least for how I play, anyway. So. Do, do, do. Boo, boo, boo. Boo, boo, boo. I need a drink. But I will do that, like, after this dungeon. That said, all I gotta do is get the 700 experience, right? And then I can get better magic. You know, lower the cost of some of the spells that way. Maybe I could get both spells off that way. Probably not. But also, there's just no way that you're gonna get 700 experience. Like, from this line of enemies. You would have to, like, leave the dungeon and come back at least once. So, but it, like, 100% my problem is just I'm not good. I don't have, like, the reaction times necessary for a game like this. But that's part of why I don't think I would do a full, like, playthrough. As much as I would love to, because this really is one of my favorite Zelda games. Like, let's be honest, I can't even beat this first boss, you know? Like, I'm either hitting the button too soon or too late. And there's almost no in between. Alright, last try. After this, I am actually going to stop the stream. Just because I don't have anything else to do, really. By the way, I was being facetious earlier when I said I had nothing else to do. Like, as I was saying that, I was already working to, like, load this up. Yeah, there's no way I can't do that fight there. I cannot kill that bubble in that spot. But like, maybe if, since this is like, you know, essentially a PC port of Zelda 2, right? So like, maybe if Hoverbats wouldn't mind like adding in a couple of cheat options or like difficulty sliders, I would be willing to do like a full playthrough. It's just, I'm just not capable, you know? Like, it's nothing against the game, it's just legitimately I'm not capable, you know? I have too many, like, issues. I mean, part of it also is that I don't have a controller that's compatible. I think, because I think when I did the actual, like, Zelda completion, like, like, I actually beat Zelda 2. If I remember right, that was actually Zelda 2 on an NES. When I did that. So I like definitely had a controller, you know? God dang. I mean, like, maybe like, widen this hitbox a little. Let's see. Will this show? No, it didn't, yeah, I do have hitboxes on, so without collision points. Bright outlines. Wow, that doesn't actually show me at all. I was hoping I could see like the exact spot I was needing to hit, but no, none of those made it so I can see that. So maybe I'll like try to play this again during the anniversary. I don't know for sure though. Oh, I was so close. Alright, we'll give it one more try. We'll give it one more try just so that we can get a nice solid like 4 hours out of this whole stream. I was so close there though, dude. I'm just trying to see if I can, like, figure out how to do, you know, like, jump and hit at the right spot. But it is so hard to jump and hit the correct spot there. So hard for me to do that, rather. I know that, you know, Zelda experts are good at this game. So, I mean, I might actually have to consider going and getting the life spell. Problem with that is that's on, like, I have to, like, go to the other side of Hyrule into Midoro Swamp. And even then, I'm not entirely sure what I need to do to, like, get it. Cause, like, I have to see the old man, and I don't know what... I don't know if they've, like, changed what you have to do here to see the old man in Midoro Swamp. And if they did, I don't know what they did. See, like, sometimes, and you can even see it when I'm fighting the Iron Knuckles, like, sometimes I can get the jumps. Other times, I just can't. And, like, you know, I want to be like, make the game easier so that I can play it. You know? But, like, also... Oh my god, what was that? I was hitting the freaking attack button, and it was not working. I was like, oh my gosh, what? I literally just had to get one hit on him. Ha! On the last run of the last life. Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. Also, I might have found a glitch. Because, like, the camera is stuck on the far right. Alright, well, I'm gonna consider that a win. That we were able to get through the first palace. Even if it took me like 100 lives. It didn't take 100, but it took like many. So I'm gonna call that a win. You know, I got the heart container. I beat the first freaking palace. I'm gonna call it a win. I mean, come on. When I'm struggling with even those little dudes, you know it's bad. Nope. Going to town and I'm saving here. Yay! Your adventure has been recorded. Alright, well, this is as far as I am going to go today. If I do come back to this, great. Because I do really enjoy this game, to be clear. Like, this is one of my all-time favorite Zelda games. It really is. I'm just really bad at it. You know, I don't want to ask Hoverbats to add in like an easy mode, but I wouldn't be opposed. But yeah, no, I'm not gonna ask for it or anything. So, you know, but with that though, I really don't have much else to say. So, I guess, if you've enjoyed, then feel free to subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Sorry, let me... That should help for the outro. I just grabbed a quick, drink here. Yay, my voice isn't horrible anymore. I really need to, like, drink water. I drink nothing but soda, and I know that's gonna, like, kill me, but... Like, well, I drink other things, like I have body armor and, like, juice. So it's not all carbonated sodas. But I know that that's just bad anyway. So, anyway, feel free to subscribe. Check there probably isn't the playlist, but if there is, then I did more streams of these. So feel free to check that. If not, then, there you go. I'll probably put some kind of playlist up, so feel free to check that and see other content I did. You can also, there's probably a link down below at some point. I'll remember to put it there. Link for Discord and Patreon. Check those out. If they're not, they're on my channel page. I know that's like 3 extra clicks, and people won't do 3 extra clicks, but still. If you want to support me and make it so that I can eat food, since I currently have nothing to eat. That would be nice. I have no money, so I have no food. So yeah, that's good. But yeah, I guess with that, I'll see you all. Oh, this is streamed live, by the way, twitch.tv/SereneInc. Come hang out with us, follow, chat, all that. And with that, I'll see you all next time. See you later. I love this freaking remix music so much, dude. It's so good. I really do. This is great. I love this remix music. I'll stop the stream when it goes back to loop.